Everything feels like it's about to fall apart. In Season 3, Episode 8 of The Summer I Turned Pretty, Jeremiah makes a heartbreaking choice and nothing will ever be the same. This isn't just a breakup. It's the spark that lights a fire of tension, heartbreak, and raw emotions between the people we've been following since the very beginning. The question is, can any of them survive what comes next? The story of Episode 8 doesn't just drop us into Jeremiah's big decision. It carefully builds the pressure moment by moment until it feels like something has to break. To understand why Jeremiah walks away, we need to step back and look at where things stood at the end of Episode 7. When we left off, Belly was still caught in the storm of her emotions. She was torn between what she thought she wanted, what she believed was right, and what her heart refused to let go of. Both Conrad and Jeremiah were circling around her, each in their own way, and the weight of their history hung over every interaction. Belly's story has always been about first love, about choice, and about how messy it feels when you're growing up and realizing that love doesn't come with a perfect path. At this point, Jeremiah had been trying so hard to hold things together. He's always been the one who wears his heart on his sleeve, the one who doesn't hide how much he cares. Compared to Conrad, who hides his feelings behind walls and silence, Jeremiah is open, sometimes too open, and that's what makes his journey so painful. He wants Belly to choose him, not out of obligation or pity, but because she truly sees him. And in Episode 7, there were cracks in that hope. The summer house, once a symbol of joy, freedom, and family, now feels like a battlefield. Every glance, every word carries weight. You can feel the unspoken things pressing down on everyone. For Belly, this is not just about romance anymore. It's about identity, who she is, who she wants to be, and who she wants by her side. Her heart is a compass that keeps spinning, unable to find north. And Jeremiah, sensing this, begins to pull back, even if he doesn't say it out loud yet. Episode 8 sets the stage like a storm that's about to hit the shore. You can almost hear the tension in the air. Belly is caught in long silences with Conrad, those moments where eyes speak louder than words. Jeremiah notices, and the more he notices, the more he questions whether he can keep holding on. The writers use these small details, the pauses, the looks, the changes in tone, to show us that a shift is coming. It's not just the love triangle either. The whole group feels on edge. The summer house is no longer the safe, magical place it once was. Every corner of it now holds memories that sting. The pool where they laughed as kids, the kitchen where they stayed up late talking, the porch where Belly first felt the thrill of being seen. All of it feels heavier now. These aren't just memories anymore. They're reminders of choices, mistakes, and heartbreaks. What makes Episode 8 so powerful is how it plays with inevitability. From the very first scene, you can tell that something is going to give. Jeremiah's smile isn't as bright. Belly's eyes aren't as certain. Conrad's silence feels sharper than before. The episode doesn't need to scream what's coming. It whispers it in every moment. And as viewers, we feel it building, like a wave that's been pulling back and is now ready to crash. By carefully setting up this emotional tension, the show makes Jeremiah's decision later hit even harder. It doesn't come out of nowhere. It feels like the result of weeks, maybe even years of love, confusion, and hidden truths finally reaching their breaking point. And that's the beauty of how this episode is crafted. Before Jeremiah even says the words, the audience already knows that a heartbreak is coming. They can feel it in their bones. This setup also highlights the way the characters have changed since Season 1. Back then, love felt simpler, more innocent. Belly was a girl caught between her childhood and adulthood, and Jeremiah and Conrad were brothers who seemed unshakable. But time, grief, and mistakes have reshaped them. They're no longer the same kids who spent summers chasing fireflies and swimming until sunset. They're young adults, each scarred by loss and by choices that can't be undone. As the setup unfolds, the show reminds us of something universal. Love is rarely fair, and timing is everything. Jeremiah may love Belly with everything he has, but if her heart isn't fully in it, can that love survive? And if Conrad still lingers in her mind, how long before Jeremiah feels like he's holding on to someone who isn't really his? These are the questions Episode 8 quietly plants in our heads, setting the stage for the heartbreak to come. By the time the episode edges closer to Jeremiah's breaking point, the stage is perfectly prepared. The emotional stakes are high, the characters are fragile, and the audience is left on the edge of their seats, waiting for the inevitable. The heart of episode 8 beats in one painful, unforgettable moment: Jeremiah breaking up. For fans who have rooted for him, who have watched him fight for Belly's love, this scene feels like a punch to the chest, but it's not just about heartbreak. It's about honesty, growth, and the courage to stop chasing something that isn't truly his. From the very beginning of the episode, Jeremiah carries a heaviness. His smile doesn't quite reach his eyes. His laughter feels shorter, thinner, like he's only half present. This is the Jeremiah who has finally started to see the truth. No matter how much he loves Belly, her heart is still conflicted. And Jeremiah has never been the kind of person to live in shadows or settle for half a love. He wants to be chosen fully, completely. Anything less will eventually break him. The scene itself is quiet, almost too quiet. There are no screaming fights, no dramatic explosions. Instead, it's the kind of breakup that cuts deeper because it feels so real. Jeremiah looks at Belly, and for the first time, his eyes don't just show longing, they show exhaustion. He's tired of waiting for her to choose him without hesitation. He's tired of living with the ghost of Conrad between them. When Jeremiah finally speaks, his words are simple but heavy. He doesn't accuse, he doesn't lash out. Instead, he says what everyone has known but hasn't wanted to admit, that he loves Belly, but he can't be the one holding on if she's still looking back at Conrad. This is the moment where Jeremiah stops being the boy chasing after love and becomes the man who knows he deserves more. Belly's reaction is heartbreaking. She doesn't want to lose him, but she also can't give him the reassurance he needs. Her silence speaks louder than any declaration could. In her heart, she still feels the pull toward Conrad, even if she doesn't want to admit it out loud. Jeremiah sees it. He's always seen it. And in this scene, he finally stops pretending that it doesn't matter. The breakup isn't just about Jeremiah letting go of Belly. It's about Jeremiah reclaiming himself. For so long, he's been defined by being the other brother, the one who wears his heart openly, the one who competes silently with Conrad. But in this moment, Jeremiah steps out of that shadow. He chooses himself. He chooses not to be the safety net, not to be the second choice. What makes this scene so powerful is the way the show layers in emotion without needing to spell everything out. The pauses, the way Belly's voice cracks when she tries to respond, the way Jeremiah's eyes glisten, but his voice stays steady. It's all crafted to make the audience feel the weight of every word. It's not just a breakup, it's a release, and yet, even though Jeremiah is the one ending things, there's no sense of victory. He doesn't walk away triumphant. He walks away broken, but also free. Free from the endless triangle. Free from waiting for Belly to choose him in a way she never fully has. The pain on his face shows that this is not what he wanted, but it was what he needed. For Belly, the breakup leaves her stunned. She doesn't chase after him because deep down she knows he's right. That's what makes this moment so gut-wrenching. It's not just about Jeremiah's courage. It's about Belly's realization. Realizing that love isn't enough when it's divided. Realizing that she may have wanted to keep both Jeremiah and Conrad in her orbit, but that eventually one of them would walk away. The aftermath of the breakup lingers long after the words are said. Jeremiah leaves, but his presence remains. The air feels heavier. The silence between Belly and Conrad grows louder. And for the audience, it's a turning point. The love triangle that has defined so much of this series has finally cracked open, and there's no way back. Jeremiah's breakup also changes how we see him as a character. He's no longer just the boy who loves freely, who gives without question. He's now the boy who knows that love must be mutual, that respect and honesty matter more than clinging to someone who can't fully give their heart back. This growth is painful, but it's real, and it's one of the most defining moments of his story. As the camera lingers on Belly's face after Jeremiah leaves, you can see the weight of everything hitting her. She wanted to keep him, but she couldn't give him what he needed. And now, for the first time, she has to face the reality of her choices. She's lost Jeremiah, not because she didn't care, but because she couldn't care enough in the way he deserved. By the end of this scene, the entire tone of episode 8 shifts. What started as an undercurrent of tension explodes into heartbreak. The breakup is the spark that sets everything else on fire. It's the moment that forces every character to face the truth, no matter how painful it is. And for viewers, it's unforgettable. Not because of the drama, but because of how real it feels. We've all been Jeremiah at some point, loving someone who couldn't fully love us back. And we've all had to make that choice, to hold on and suffer, or to let go and heal. Jeremiah chooses to let go, and in doing so, he breaks not only Belly's heart, but ours too. Jeremiah's breakup doesn't end with him walking away. It begins a storm that spreads through everyone. In episode 8, the ripple effect of his decision is impossible to ignore. Every character feels it, even if they don't say it out loud. It's as though the breakup shatters whatever fragile balance the group had left, and now all the cracks are beginning to show. The first wave of tension sits between Belly and Conrad. For Conrad, Jeremiah's breakup feels like something he saw coming, but hoped wouldn't happen so soon. He has always been careful around Jeremiah, guarding his feelings and holding back whenever it came to Belly, because deep down he didn't want to hurt his brother. But with Jeremiah stepping away, that barrier suddenly dissolves. Conrad's quietness now feels louder, his presence heavier. Belly notices it too. She feels the pull toward him growing stronger, but guilt holds her back. How can she lean into Conrad when Jeremiah's heart is still breaking because of her? This is where the triangle becomes more painful than ever. It's no longer about choosing one or the other. It's about living with the consequences of choices already made. Belly's silence after Jeremiah's breakup weighs on Conrad. He can see she's hurting, but he also knows she's conflicted. He has always loved her, but is her heart ready to finally meet his without conditions? The unspoken questions hang in the air, stretching every glance and every pause between them. Beyond the love triangle, the breakup spreads tension into the wider circle. Friends and family feel the strain. Every gathering becomes awkward. Simple conversations turn into quiet standoffs. The summer house, once filled with laughter, now echoes with uncomfortable silences. Even the background moments, like sitting around the table or walking along the beach, feel sharp, as though any wrong word could set someone off. What's striking in episode 8 is how the writers use small, ordinary moments to highlight the rising tension. Belly might catch Conrad staring at her for a second too long. Jeremiah might walk into a room and then leave just as quickly, not wanting to face the two of them together. Even the other characters, who aren't directly involved in the triangle, start to feel the awkwardness. It's no longer just Belly, Conrad, and Jeremiah. It's everyone in their orbit, forced to tiptoe around feelings that are too big to hide. Jeremiah himself changes in this section. After the breakup, he isn't just sad, he's guarded. For the first time, Jeremiah begins to shut people out. He avoids Belly, avoids eye contact, avoids the places that once felt safe. His energy shifts from being warm and open to distant and restrained. That change creates even more tension, because Jeremiah has always been the heart of the group. When he goes cold, everyone feels it. Belly, meanwhile, is trapped in a spiral of guilt. She knows she didn't mean to hurt Jeremiah, but she also knows she did. Her feelings for Conrad are still alive, and that makes her wonder if Jeremiah was always right, if she was holding on to something she couldn't fully commit to. This guilt pushes her into a kind of paralysis. She doesn't know how to comfort Jeremiah without leading him on, and she doesn't know how to move closer to Conrad without feeling like a villain. That inner conflict radiates into every interaction she has. Conrad, though quiet, isn't unaffected. His restraint becomes more noticeable, more strained. He's always been the one to hide behind walls, but Jeremiah's breakup puts him in a position where he has to decide, keep holding back, or finally speak. The tension inside him is building like pressure in a sealed bottle. You can feel that sooner or later, he won't be able to stay silent anymore. What makes this stretch of episode 8 so captivating is that it feels like everyone is walking on eggshells. No one wants to say the wrong thing, but every silence feels like a ticking clock. The group is on edge, and the tension makes even the calmest moments feel dangerous. The love triangle has stopped being just about romance. It's become a test of loyalty, honesty, and whether these relationships can survive the truth. The physical setting reflects this too. The summer house, usually a place of comfort, now feels suffocating. The spaces that once brought joy, like the porch, the living room, the beach, now trap the characters in their shared history. Every corner holds a memory that makes the tension worse. It's as though the environment itself is pressing in on them, reminding them of everything they can't escape. And this is where the audience feels the most torn. On one hand, you want Belly and